Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about film. If you're here for a bike video, it's actually pictures of bikes on film, but it is a film video. We're actually talking about TMax 400 today. When my friend gave me a bunch of that expired Fuji Color Press 400, there was also a bunch of TMax in the box. It's mostly 400 speed. But only one of the 400 speed rolls was in a box, and that said it expired in 1998. All the 400 is in boxes, and that says it's expired in 1993. So the rest of the TMax 400 is in just these kind of cases. So I don't know when it's really from, but I'm guessing that it would mostly be the 98. Just, who knows. So with black and white film, that's not that expired, even though it seems like a long time. If it was handled well, that shouldn't matter too much. I obviously have no idea how it was handled, but I'm going to guess it was decent, and that's kind of how I shot it. I shot it pretty close to box speed. Developed it for 6 minutes, in HC-110, dilution B. Not necessarily a recommended developer for TMax films, but it's what I have. It's easy to use. And, again, I shot it in my Canon Canonet QL17GIII when I was out riding my bike, and I was more taking snapshots. So the characteristics that people don't usually like about HC-110 would be that it adds a graininess to TMax. I found that it did, but I actually don't mind it. It almost kind of came out with a contrasty Tri-X type look. That's not why someone would buy TMax and shoot it, but for what I'm doing and for what I like, I thought it actually came out fairly pleasing. I would say I was pleasantly surprised. Personally, I've just never had a reason to shoot TMax, so even though I feel like it came out grainy and contrasty, I can't compare it to my own results because unless I shot it in high school, I don't think I've ever shot it before. I've shot TMax 100 plenty of times. It's what I buy in 120 medium format film for my vintage box cameras because I need about 100 speed film for those since there aren't any settings. But I've also shot it in some of my nicer medium format cameras, the 100 speed, because I really do like that almost non-existent grain, and it comes out looking very beautiful in a medium format film. But for 400, I haven't had a reason to have a very fine grain, sharp film. I know it's good for making big enlargements, which is something that I just really don't have the time to do, so it doesn't matter. So I've kind of stuck with what I know. But now that I have so much, it's kind of a why not? It's cheap to develop, it was free to get, so I figure I might as well figure out, how it works for me and a good way to shoot it, because then it's a good thing for me just to have on the bike and carry around when I want to take snapshots on film and in black and white. So let's jump on into the roll. First shot here was a bike ride me and Ben took down to Massillon. This one came out a little bit dark, but there's a big white sky behind it, so I could see why through the camera's meters. But just our bicycles. This is actually a campground where I've camped a number of times, right by the river, probably 4 miles outside Massillon. And this is Ben hanging out there. We stopped here to have a beer on our bike ride. Yeah, again, these are pretty pleasing results. I'm happy with the contrast and the tones. What happened was I shot a couple when me and Ben were down in Massillon, pulled the camera out, realized in my bike bag the door had bounced open. So most of the other shots, a couple were there, but they were pretty much ruined or fogged or overexposed. But then I went out for another bike ride when I was making my video about the Riviera, and so this is along the train tracks. I thought this image came out really well too. This is usually where, if I had my SLR, I'd have a red filter on to get that sky to come out even darker, but this, I thought these were pretty pleasing results, and I like this shot in general with just all the different shapes and the different shades in there. Another building along the tracks. Again, clouds rendered fairly nice. I stopped to shoot the video at this junkyard thinking it'd make for a cool background, and then having the film camera on me again because it's so small and convenient. Took a few shots. I thought this was kind of cool, vertical one. Here is a horizontal one. Again, I'm just pretty impressed with the tones and the contrast I got. Like I said, definitely on the grainy side, especially when you look in the sky. not what you would expect from TMax, but that's probably my development and agitation. And I guess it could be a little bit of the expired characteristics too that are coming out there. Yeah, another horizontal shot of the junkyard with their machinery in the background. Something I just thought came out as a cool shot. My bicycle, this is the Roger Riviera that I had made the video about. Then the third bike trip we took where I finished off this roll was Easter Sunday. Since none of us were going out to see our families, we decided, me, Ben, and Aaron, who are none of us are roommates, but almost for quarantine situations, kind of like we are. Those are the two other people that I actually have regular contact with. We decided we'd ride our bikes all day and, you know, have some beers in the woods. This is at a place in Kent where there used to be an old roundhouse. It's Erin posing for a photo. As Ben taking the photo, she has a Surly shirt on, Surly beer koozie, and the Surly bike. And actually in the black and white, it kind of came out great how dark they all are. Really like this photo. There's my bike again, you know, can never have too many of those. Aaron, fun shot. This is at the end of the Portage hiking bike. This one came out a little dark too. I'm not sure why, because there's not that much sky in the shot, but still usable. On the way back, we stopped at what we call the Moon Tower. It's an old train water tower. And again, I think this came out really well. Another one, they're just different expressions. It's Ben's bike in the front. Ben in front of the graffitied up Moon Tower with our bikes in the background. My bike peeking out from around the corner. Another shot where I just really like the light. It's a wider shot of what the Moon Tower looks like. Vertical one with the bike wheels in there. I really like the wall with the graffiti just came out fantastic. This was our last stop, I believe, off the Freedom Trail. I love this. Erin sitting there with the bikes around her, the grass, the tones. Yeah, besides some excessive graininess, which I think some people wouldn't like, or it's not, like I said before, why you would shoot TMax. I just really happy with these. So the film door actually popped open at another time on the ride, and I lost a couple other shots that way. So I had 21 that I used. I think I ended up with 30 shots overall, so I lost 6. Problem is it threw the film counter off. So after I took this shot and I went to go to the next, I wasn't careful enough and I ripped the film and I wasn't able to rewind it, which kind of bummed me out because then I couldn't load another roll of film that day into the camera. So I had to wait till I got home and put the camera in the changing bag and take the roll of film out there. So that was kind of a bummer, but it didn't actually ruin the film. It didn't totally rip it off. It just pulled it too far so it wouldn't go back into the canister. And if I would have tried to force it, it would have ripped the film pretty bad. But so yeah, on a whole, this is something that I'm going to do. You know, I will use this, use up a lot of this 400 speed TMax. And, you know, developing it for 6 minutes in HC-110 dilution B seemed to work out pretty well for me with the way the camera exposed. I did buy some of FPP's version of D76, so I could hopefully solve my Ferrania problems if you saw that video. But, you know, maybe I'll try some of that with this too. That's a more recommended developer for this. But, you know, for the saving money factor of using one-shot HC-110, I think this was kind of a success. Anyways, that's all for this video. I will see you tomorrow. We'll be doing a video on my vintage Peugeot. Peace.